Mr. Lew, welcome. Congratulations on your nomination to this important position. Grateful for your desire to serve the country in this capacity. But before I begin, thank you for the conversation we had in my office. It was frank, it was open. I recognize that if you're confirmed, you'll be taking a critical role at an incredibly challenging time, but it is now even more challenging because of the role that Iran has been permitted to have in outfitting, encouraging, and possibly directing, we don't know for sure, the terrorist acts of its regional proxies. So we don't know the breadth of some of those directives. When we spoke, we spent quite a bit of time on Iran and your former role as Treasury Secretary. I know that's been subject of a lot of conversation today, including the role that Treasury played in implementing the financial aspects of the Obama administration's Iran deal. I wanted to follow up on some of my questions in the hope that you've had a chance to review the particulars of our discussion in Treasury's role. When Treasury issued specific licenses, as opposed to the general licenses, to enable the conversion of Iranian funds into euros, was this transaction directly connected to the financial relief at the core of the JCPOA and associated UN resolutions, or was it connected to so-called side deals, for example, between Iran and the IAEA that were kept from Congress? Now, this distinction matters because I believe it lies at the heart of how Congress was left in the dark before and after the JCPOA was negotiated and went into effect. Please respond.
Senator, I appreciate you taking the time to just talk with me about these issues yesterday, and it was a frank and candid discussion. I'm grateful for that. I apologize that I have not had time. I've been working nonstop since the meeting I was in with you, and it's not a simple matter to go back and refresh your memory on details, some of which I might not have even been aware of.
I'll follow up in writing.
I'd be happy to follow up.
All right, thank you. I'd like to turn to U.S. assistance to the Palestinians. The Palestinian Authority, to this day, maintains a Martyrs fund that subsidizes and incentivizes acts of violence and terror against the people of Israel. Given the ongoing conflict and the possibility that Israel's enemies may seek to expand the assault on Israel, we must impose a higher level of scrutiny on U.S. assistance, both bilateral and through multilateral organizations like the United Nations, to ensure that any future U.S. aid does not support this reprehensible policy and that no U.S. dollars support acts of terrorism. If confirmed, Mr. Lew, how will you use your role, including the role you must exert over U.S. policy towards the Palestinian leadership and people, to ensure that any U.S. assistance, including through multilateral institutions like UNRWA, does not directly or indirectly support terrorist activities or violate the Taylor Force Act?
Senator, I don't believe that there's anything tolerable about paying people to commit acts of terrorism and murder. And paying families of so-called martyrs, to me, is just immoral. And I will do everything I can as ambassador to bring that to bear both in our bilateral assistance and in our engagement with international partners. If confirmed, it's something that it's a very difficult relationship in international organizations, and I've engaged in those conversations before, and I've taken tough issues to international partners before, and it would be something that I would look forward to working with you in this committee on to make sure that it's center on our attention.
Relatedly, thank you, Mr. Lew, how will you use your role in conjunction with, collaboration with, other U.S. ambassadors in the region to urge that donors, especially within the region, both heavily restrict and ensure oversight over financial support to the Palestinian Authority and to nominally humanitarian and aid organizations operating in the West Bank and Gaza?
So I have started just reaching out to some of the other ambassadors in the region, some of whom I've known and some of whom I haven't. I think it is a responsibility of the Chief of Mission in Israel to work closely with ambassadors in other countries, to work with the State Department. And I don't think it's an easy one-size-fits-all answer, because there are different countries with different relationships, with different benefits to the United States, involved. And they're not new issues to me. I've engaged in these conversations from other seats. I think it's important, and it's something that I would be doing for the first time as a chief of mission.
Thank you, Mr. Lew. I have no further questions. I'm over my time. And Senator Shaheen.
Actually, it's Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Secretary, welcome. Thank you and your family